There we go. Okay. So, a whole mouthful, said it right there. You guys can see it right there. We are the Raymond A. Kent School of Social Work and Family Science. Again, I'm Bobby Cortez, the Recruitment and Admissions Coordinator for the BSW program. Let's go and get started. So, what is social work? So, social work is the profession that promotes, enhances, and restores the relationships between people, their environment, in order to approve or improve the quality of life for individuals, families, communities, and organizations. Additionally, it really is working to create societal conditions that are favorable to that goal as well. We all know that the world that we live in is not necessarily set up equitably. So for people to live in their highest quality of life, to be the best versions of themselves, we need systems that make up our world that can allow those things and those individuals, those families, and those communities to flourish. So we like to ask those that come to this info session, those that are interested in social work, sort of these three questions. Are you good at maneuvering through complex situations? You will oftentimes have a lot of clients, different things going on at the same exact time. So it's really important to kind of have that critical thinking, that maneuverability, that flexibility to work through different complex situations all at once. Do you have a passion for helping vulnerable and marginalized individuals, families, and communities? Let's face it, people are not going to come see a social worker if their life is, so to say, sunshine and rainbows. Typically, people are coming to see a social worker because there is something going on in their world, in their life, that is really affecting them in sort of a not so great way. So if you have a passion for helping those that really are in need, we think you're in the right place. The last question we like to ask, do you have a passion for advocacy and promoting social justice? These are key pillars within the field of social work. We are often always advocating for our clients, promoting social justice for our clients, promoting equity, promoting diversity, and really advocating for our clients on their behalf until eventually they might be able to reach all the tools necessary to be able to live happy, healthy, and flourishing lives without the need of a social worker kind of coming in to do any sort of intervention. So if you had three yeses to those questions, we definitely think that you're in the right spot. So again, we were talking about, and I know it was Mitchell was your last name, and I forget the first one because I read it first, but you were talking about how broad a degree is social work is and how much you can do with it. And this is really sort of not an all exhaustive list, but just a list that really kind of just snapshots a few of the occupations that students that choose to pursue a degree in social work can achieve. So if you'll notice, you'll see people in the criminal justice field, you'll see nonprofits, you'll see hospitals, you will see mental health workers, you will see those working in the school system, criminal justice systems, crisis intervention, those working in child welfare. There is a lot of opportunities for social workers out there. Additionally, with the sort of changing mindset in recent years on the importance of mental health, and really paying attention to some of those signs and getting the proper care when things are not going so well. I think that really speaks volumes to where we've come as a world in recent years, despite personal opinion, we still have a long way to go. But I will leave it at that. So here is our team. This is our BSW team. We are a small but mighty team. We get a lot of work done, process a lot of applications, teach a lot of classes, do a lot of the things behind the scenes that kind of don't get noticed on a day-to-day basis, but we're doing it all. So I'll start, and from our left is our director, Dr. Armand Perry, our associate director, Sarah Springer, our manager of student success, Anna O'Connell. That's me. And then next to me is Gary Uracy, our academic counselor, that most all of the incoming freshmen and those that are coming in, transfer students, will be working with Gary, and he will be your academic advisor. So into some of our program highlights. And I failed to mention everybody at the beginning, and I know we have a few more people on right now than when we started with. If you have questions, you can write them down or throw them in the chat. Or additionally, once we're finished with the presentation, we will allow times for sort of like a Q&A, really relaxed. So if you'd like to write them down, or if you'd like to throw them in the chat so you don't forget about them, that's kind of how we'll roll with the questions towards the end. But back to the program highlights. In our entirety, the BSW program is 120 credit hours. Students must maintain a minimum of a 2.5 GPA to be accepted into the program and maintain good academic standing within the university. We have online or on-campus options, as well as full and part-time routes. Oftentimes, a lot of people in our programs, a lot of individuals have families. They're working jobs, full-time, part-time jobs. They're getting this degree along with other things. So we really understand the people that are coming into our program. We want to make things very flexible for them to really just meet the best needs of their current situation. Additionally, that last bullet, our program is split up into a lower division and an upper division. So 120 credit hours, and it is split pretty much straight down the middle, 60 hours for the lower division and 60 hours for the upper division. And I'll talk about each of those in just a moment. So our lower division, essentially your first 2 years, is going to consist of two things. It's well, actually three things. So it's going to consist of your cardinal core, those general education requirements, which you see here, which everybody across the board has to take. This is roughly 31 credit hours. Something to pay attention to is your arts and humanities and your natural sciences must be in two different disciplines. So you can't take, say, all biology courses in here. That may be a bio or a chemistry or an environmental science. They just need to be in two different disciplines. That's going to amount to 31 credit hours. So that is one out of the three, your cardinal core. Additionally, you will be taking some supporting prerequisites that we ask that our students take before they move into the upper division that really lay a lot of the foundational work of social work and what you'll need moving into that upper division, the more professional phase. So those would include a BSW 101 for a freshman coming in with less than 24 credit hours, basically a social work orientation, how to college. Basically, that's it. That is 1 credit hour. However, the 5 that we really pay most attention to is going to be that BSW 201 Intro to Social Work, a Human Anatomy and Bio course or its equivalent, a statistics course, a Intro to Psychology course, and Intro to Sociology. It's important to note that the human anatomy and the stats class, you can get those equivalencies through psychology, through criminal justice, through the math departments, through biology. However, these courses listed for the BSW 203 and 204 are taught through a social work lens and really geared to promote a lot of the work that you would be doing regarding statistics or anatomy and biology through that social work lens. So it's not going to be with the human anatomy, you're not going to memorize every part of the body, every structure, how everything works, but we might dive into maybe how certain substances affect the brain and brain development, how things might affect those from a young age as they grow. So sort of that lens. That's the 2 out of the 3. And then the final is going to be general electives. So that's your 13 hours right down here. These can be any electives that you choose. College is really a time to explore, to experiment with different interests and things of that nature. So take a course that maybe just sounds interesting to you. I always say to students, and I've had it happen to myself as well, I thought I was super into a course. I was excited to take it. I was in the class and I found it was really not for me. That's still a W in my book, honestly. I learned a little bit more about myself and then learned that, hey, that may not be the path that is best for me going that way. So your cardinal core, your supporting prereqs, and then those general electives will make up your first 60 credit hours. Typically, your freshman and sophomore year. But we have a number of transfer students coming in and people in different stages of life and things like that. So whenever you get to that point, that is typically that lower division satisfaction. So for our upper division, this is your second 60 hours, and really this is the more professional phase of the program. The program is structured very rigidly throughout these next 4 semesters for students to gain knowledge and experience on a number of different theories, practice courses. You will learn about human behavior in the social environment, social welfare policies, research, diversity, oppression, and social justice, as well as you will be required to take a certain amount of social work electives that will really range and dive a little bit deeper into specific specialties within social work. So, be it mental health counseling, be it working with veterans, be it working in human sexuality, working in the child welfare sector. There are a number of electives that really allow you to kind of dive deeper into a specific niche area of social work if that's something that you choose to do. So, in addition to the upper division throughout your last year, so for 2 semesters, you will do what's called a practicum. A practicum is basically in the social work world what we call an internship. This is something that is completed throughout your senior year. The hours are 16 hours per week, Monday through Friday, typically 8 to 5 p.m. And these times can change based on the schedule that you make. You won't be working there Monday through Friday, 8 to 5. However, we have those there because a lot of these organizations, these nonprofits that students choose to do their practicum education at, they typically run throughout the normal business day. So we just want to get that on people's radar so they can begin, maybe making arrangements, or people have families, people have child duties, people have work. So it's something to be able to kind of just get on your radar now to begin thinking about how you might be able to kind of maneuver around those situations. Um, and that is really one of the culminating assignments in your social work education, really designed for you to take all of the skills, the knowledge, the practice skills, the theories that you've been learning in the classroom and really put them to the test under the direct supervision of practice social workers out in the field. We're not really going to be asking you to do one-on-one things with a lot of individuals. We're still in the learning phase, but you will be working alongside social workers and practicing those skills, and really just refining them. It's like riding a bike. We can teach you and tell you how to do all these things, but until you kind of get on that bike, ride, wobble, fall a couple times maybe, get back up, and we're going to keep on going at it. So that is your practicum education. Again, that will happen your senior year, the entirety of that year, the fall and the spring semester, or the spring, fall, however you choose to do that. So with the lower division application, typically students are automatically admitted into social work lower division once they are accepted into the University of Louisville. The deadline for that lower division is always open for the next available semester. Essentially, you get accepted to U of L, you say that you want to pursue social work, you will automatically be put into that lower division to be able to complete the Cardinal Core, the prereqs, and the electives. But for high school students, automatic admissions with ACT, SAT scores, a composite ACT score of not less than 20, SAT not less than 1030. So also students, high school students, minimum requirements without the ACT, SAT is going to be a GPA of 2.5 or higher. And admissions will do a comprehensive review of your high school transcript, including grades and courses, particularly those with college prep courses. Additionally, we have a lot of transfer students. So those with 24 hours or more must have a grade point average of, again, you'll see this many times, 2.5 or higher to be admitted in good standing to the lower division. Now, because you are admitted, you're accepted to U of L, you're admitted to the lower division, that does not guarantee you admission into the professional phase or the upper division of the social work program. We have a separate application for that process. It's not very deep, but it also is very important and something that every student must go through in order to be accepted into the upper division. And I'll tell you just a little bit about it right now. So the two things that we have students that must have completed or checked off before they're able to be accepted to the upper division is that GPA of 2.5 or higher and completion of at least 45 credit hours to be eligible to be accepted. You can apply before you have those 45 credit hours. So say we have students right now who are in their semester waiting for the spring start. They have 40 credit hours. At the end of this semester, they will have then earned enough credit hours to make that 45. So what they do is they will go ahead and apply. We will just kind of hold their application, wait until the end of the semester. and then verify those credit hours, send that application on. So the completion of those credit hours doesn't have to be there, as well as the GPA. Initially as you're applying. It just must be before you actually start that program. So within the application, we're going to have a short work history. We're going to have volunteer work history, demographics, tell us about all the institutions, the school you've been to, things of that nature. You will sign off on the Title IX on the Clery Act. You will sign off on the NASW Code of Ethics. But the main purpose, and not, excuse me, main purpose, the main component of that application is going to be your statement of purpose. This is a 1,000 to 1,200 word statement that students will create based on 2 questions, really just kind of analyzing an important area of social work that they would like to see change in, how that might happen, or analyzing ethical sides of really having the social workers are obligated to work with all individuals. Some individuals may really have differing views or perspectives than you. However, ethically, you are obligated to work with that client and treat them as if it was anybody else. So that second question is going to really ask, how would you maneuver through some of those discrepancies, those personal biases that may have with certain clients? So choose one of those questions, kind of write that statement of purpose, and then we will be reviewing those applications by myself. Then to Sarah Springer, our assistant director, then we will have a faculty review committee look at those. And then ultimately, Dr. Armand Perry, our program director, does get that final say on those that are accepted into the upper division. We're happy to say that we have a fall and a spring start. It used to only be fall, so those students that were really wanting and ready to start in the spring had to really wait sort of like an entire year for it to come full circle. We are going to be having our first spring cohort starting just after the new year, so we're very excited for that. That application deadline has already passed. So for those that were looking for the spring, we might just have to wait one semester and move on to the fall. But these are sort of our tentative deadlines that we have for students. We have the priority deadlines because our registration is going to be right around the corner from that. And then that final deadline for students either in the fall or the spring semester. It is important to note as well that if you're attending other institutions, you must be accepted to U of L prior to applying to the social work upper division. That is because all of our application materials are sent through your university emails to keep everybody's information safe and secure. So you must be accepted in order to receive an email. You must have an email to receive the application. So it kind of just follows that flow a little bit. It is important to know that when you do apply, you will need to update the university with all transcripts from all of the institutions that you have attended. I know if you accepted, they may have some transcripts, but we've had instances where students have classes that they're currently taking that are in progress that they then forgot to go back and resend those transcripts once grades were finalized. So we had to hold their acceptance, wait until things kind of got sent through, and it just kind of pushed back that time before students could be accepted, which then pushed back times where students could register for their courses. So just a heads up, it happens. I see it quite a bit. So just thought I'd go ahead and share that right here. So within the BSW program as well, we do have an alcohol and drug counseling track. Essentially, this is where students will apply during the upper division application for that professional phase. They must have, again, cumulative GPA of 2.5. And then in the portion where their application, their statement of purpose goes, they will use their interests and experiences in substance abuse field as and potential plans after graduation as the central interest and the discussion topic of that statement of purpose. Additionally, students will be required to take a certain amount of electives to satisfy this track. So substance use and substance use disorders, special issues, alcohol and drug counseling, motivation and change, and mental health. Another program that is very, very awesome. So this is what we call the CW Prep program. This is really for those who think that they might be or already know that they're interested in going into the child welfare system. There's a lot of information on it, but I didn't want to flood this slide with so much information. Um, but in a nutshell, for students that are interested in working in the child welfare prep program, working for the cabinet, for the state, DCBS, um, basically this program you sign up for, it's free to sign up. You get a $1,300 stipend per semester, fully paid in-state tuition for up to 4 semesters. So that is the entirety of your upper division program. So the final 2 years of your college experience for the undergrad, as well as you get job placement after graduation. Along with that, you are required to do your practicum with the cabinet, and that is paid. I believe that pay is $15 or $16 an hour, but I will say it doesn't seem like a lot. There are not organizations, nonprofits that are offering paid internships other than this one. Um, it's kind of how it is. So $1,300 stipend, fully paid tuition for those last 2 years, um, job placement after graduation, and a paid internship. The cabinet's going to hook you up with all of these. The catch is they've invested in you for 2 years. You will be contractually obligated to work for the cabinet for 2 years post graduation. In my eyes, that's a really great deal, especially for those that are maybe struggling financially to be able to get this. Additionally, if the child welfare sector is something that you are very interested in, you know you want to go in there, why would you not take this opportunity to make some money, save some money, and get guaranteed job placement, create those networks a little bit earlier than some of your other classmates who are going to be doing that in different ways. So again, this is the CW Prep program. The contact for that is Emily Watts. She is a coordinator for that program. She is faculty here on staff at the Kent School. So their email and phone number is right there. Additionally, if you just go to childwelfareprep.com or just Google CW Prep program, it will come up and you can do any amount of research you would like. So again, the advanced standing, actually not again, I don't think I said this yet, but we do have an advanced standing MSSW program. So essentially what this is, and I definitely encourage all students to go get their master's, those job opportunities, the pay will increase. It just really opens a lot more doors for students. But we do have an advanced standing MSSW program that is transformed from 60 credit hours to just 30 credit hours for those that have a BSW. So in other words, the traditional graduate program master's for the Masters of Science in Social Work, 60 credit hours. Anybody can come get that master's degree. However, if it's your undergrad, your BS or your undergrad degree is in criminal justice, is in psychology, is in any other field other than social work, you must do the 60-hour masters. However, if you do have the BSW, you can qualify for the advanced standing, which cuts it in half, 60 credit hours to 30 credit hours. So about 2 to 5 semesters. Admissions for that is a preferred 3.0 cumulative GPA, a preferred 3.25 GPA in your social work foundational courses. And then additionally, once you are in the BSW program, our master's level admissions counselors will come out and speak to all of our classes, speak to all of our individuals to really educate them on the ins and outs of the MSSW program, as well as some of the specialties, the specializations that they offer within the MSSW program as well. So if we are not trying to speed things up enough with the advanced standing master's program, we also have a soaring scholars program that we actually just started this year. So this allows students to take up to 9 credits that will apply to both your BSW and your MSSW graduate degree program. So this is definitely for high achieving students, those that have a 3.75 social work GPA after the completion of their first semester of the upper division can apply. And they have a 3.5 cumulative GPA, including all the prior courses at any of their other institutions. So essentially this will allow those students to take up to 3 classes that will apply for your bachelor's and your master's. And additionally, it's not listed there. This will allow them to take those master's courses at bachelor's level prices. That's a big kind of key step right there as well. So we're just kind of thinking of ways that we can get students to kind of fast track their degree, save a little bit of money, and get great experience along the way. So our living learning community that we have here on campus, essentially this is a community of students who are interested in social work. A living learning community essentially is the same. If you live together, you're learning together, and you build that sense of community. So students are really living with those that are very like-minded, interested in the same things that they are. Additionally, our faculty and program coordinators for the living learning community will have a number of different outings. They will take students on different workshops, different private lectures that those from the field will come out to and kind of present to our students. So it's basically an area where students can build a sense of community with those that are like-minded individuals interested in the same sort of work and careers and lifestyles that they are. So what can you do now? Establish good relationships with your professors. We always say that you never know when they're going to be able to do something positive for you. Write a review, write a letter of recommendation. Second thing, you've said it, or I've said it 10, 12 times. Keep your GPA up above a 2.5. That is a key number. We want students to remain in good academic standing. Additionally, apply to the University of Louisville through the Office of Undergrad Admissions. And then once you're admitted, we will schedule next steps for onboarding and schedule an advising appointment with Gary so that you all can discuss really what path and what's really what's going to work best for you and your success. We do that individually with each person that joins our program. Gary is fantastic. He's able to meet people kind of like do on the phone. You can do virtual. Students can meet in person. Really, we just want to meet students where they're at and kind of give our expertise and share what we think might be the best possible route for them to achieve their BSW degree. So here is my contact information. I'm going to leave this up for just a minute. This is the last slide of the presentation. And I'm going to stop sharing my screen in a minute and we can offer up time for Q&A, but I wanted to just leave that there in case anybody had a question or wanted to speak more one-on-one, or say you forgot your question and it came to you, tonight at dinner time. So you could shoot me an email, give me a phone call. It's my office phone. But again, my name is Bobby Cortez, and it's been a pleasure to share with you. I'll leave this up for about 5 more seconds, and then I will stop sharing and open it up for questions. Okay, cool. We don't all have to speak at once, but if you do have a question, you can feel free to just kind of like unmute yourself, and I'll do the best I can to answer your question. If we do not have questions, you will get a survey afterwards, and you can just say that it was the best presentation you ever saw, and just give me like the little star. Um, but again, I'll be on here. I'll be here. If you would like to wait until others are gone, or if you would like to, again, shoot me an email or a phone call for a question more one-on-one, again, that's an option, but I'm just going to leave it open to you all.
Um, since nobody else is saying anything, I don't really have a question. Every question that I wrote down, they kind of
Yeah.
answered. Because I was hoping to start in the spring because I'm actually graduating with my associates from JCTC next
Mhm.
month. But you answered that I probably wouldn't be able to start because I believe that I do have all those credits for lower division already.
So what I can do and I will say this. So we don't necessarily, we're not advertising that we would still accept an application. However, um, if students are meeting everything and they are have an exceptional GPA and we think that they would be able to start in the spring, it is more of like a case by case basis that typically goes between my associate director and one of our advisors. Um, and they sort of make that call based on looking at GPA, looking at cumulative GPA, looking at everything that you have since achieved. So I don't want to tell you right now, Alexis, that it's a definite no, but
But it's not
is
a
there?
definite yes.
But it's not a definite yes. However, I can speak to them. Is there a? Let me see. Let me just write these things down. And if you would like to maybe, I'm gonna see if um, Charika has any questions, and if not, I didn't want to like kind of air any of your personal academic information with other people on the call.
Hmm.
Um, but if you would like to kind of hold off for a moment, and then we can talk and kind of I can learn a little bit more about your situation, and then um, I can take that to them, and then they can kind of look. But they would definitely need to see. It doesn't even have to be official at the moment, but if you were able to kind of let us know what your situation is and things like that, as far as grades and cumulative GPA and all the credits you might have, then I could definitely take that to them and reach back out to you.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then, Tarika, do you have any questions for us?
No, not at the moment.
Uh,
I came in rather late, so I
okay.
might have to just catch another one.
We have not scheduled them quite yet, but we will have more that will be going on in January and spring after the new year. However, if you want to give me your email, I can email you, and typically when it's one on one, it's a lot easier flowing. So we could coordinate for a day where I could kind of do maybe more of a one on one session with you if that's okay.
Okay, that sounds great.
All right, cool. Yeah, if you want to just throw your email in the chat, I'll go ahead and jot it down, and then I will shoot you an email right after I work with Alexis.
Okay. Hmm. Okay, there you go.
Thank you at Gmail. All right. Well, if you wouldn't mind, Jarika, I will send you an email right after I finish talking with Alexis. I think she was just kind of going to go over some, academic information. But if you would like, my schedule is pretty good for next week. I have class on Tuesdays, but if you want to just kind of begin thinking about maybe a day or a time that would work best for you, I think maybe a 30-minute meeting would be totally enough time for me to kind of go over any of the information that you had missed. And I'd be happy to
Okay,
do that. So I will shoot you an email
sounds like a
in
plan.
just a few, and then we'll
Okay,
put something on the books.
all right. Thank you. I'll get off here. Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye.
you. Have a good day.
You too.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, I think this is just Alexis. Okay. So Alexis, what?
Yes.
Let me see. I'm gonna make notes here as well.
Just let me know if it's kind of too loud. My son's walking around playing Looney Tunes. I don't
No,
know if you
that's
can hear
okay.
that.
That's okay. And actually, Alexis, it looks like we have more people on here as well. And I just want to kind of make sure that it's more one-on-one in case, obviously, I just want to keep everybody's information safe. Jasmine, did you have any questions about the presentation?
Hi, hi. I actually just joined. I've been trying to join since it started, and it wouldn't let me. So
Oh,
I'm sure I
goodness.
missed a whole lot. I'm sorry.
You did. That's okay. So, we had another person that just joined, and what I will do is, so I got their email, and I'm gonna reach out to them
Hmm.
to sort of set up a more of a one-on-one. So what I might do is coordinate it with the both of you to see if there's a time, or if there's something that doesn't work for the both of you, I'd be happy to do kind of two one-on-ones. Um, but is it okay if, because I was speaking with Alexis and she's kind of gonna go over some, personal academic information. So I could
Hmm.
start a new meeting, or I can just reach out to you if that's okay after we speak to sort of set up a time where we can kind of go over the things that you may have missed.
Oh yeah, that's totally fine with me. Do you need my email,
Yeah,
or do you already have it?
if you wouldn't mind throwing it in the chat for me, or just kind of like saying it out, I will do that as well.
Yeah, I can tell you real quick, and then I'll hop
Okay,
off.
gotcha,
It's J
gotcha,
Kyles Kyles
gotcha.
2012 at Gmail.
Oh, I'm sorry, I was getting a
I'm
little.
sorry.
Now I'm getting a phone call and everything's happening at once. I got the J Kyles
2012 at gmail.com.
2012 at gmail.com, and then we are Jasmine Kyles. Okay. Jasmine, I will
Hmm.
shoot you an email
Okay.
just shortly after I hop off this interview. Or this
Okay.
interview.
No
Oh my
problem.
goodness. Where's my
It's
head
okay.
at?
It's totally fine. Thank
Okay.
you.
You're welcome. I'll
Okay.
speak to you soon.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Okay, Alexis, I'm so sorry.
It's okay. I'm typing anyway.
Okay.
All right,
So
I'm
let
about
me
to.
see. So, are you able to pull your transcripts for what you have currently, kind of like an unofficial transcript?
Um, I can see because I actually, yeah, I put in an application already, and they have my transcripts, but I don't know how to pull them up from the application if I'm even able to do that.
Okay, let me see if they've, because I can actually hop on here and see if they've received them. I just was unsure if you had even applied yet. So
I
let me just,
applied, but actually not to the social work program. I wanted to have this meeting first to get information before I
okay,
decided if it was going to work out.
that's all good. But you did apply, just kind of like, you just didn't give like a specific major, I'm assuming.
There's a major on here, but I just assumed that I would be able to change that
And
after.
you can. Yeah,
Okay.
it's not too deep of a process to change that. Um, but have you gotten, actually, let me just see your admission summary. I'm gonna try to see based on your name. Does September 12th mean anything to you?
That's my birthday.
Okay. Just want to make sure that was you. Okay, so it looks like you're set as an A and S degree. It looks like they received some transcripts.
I know they should have everything except for my most recent transcript from when I graduate next month.
Yeah, because I'm seeing one from, I see JCTC from 2018, NKU from 2015, and I am not seeing that, but they have sent out emails to us all often for the past 2 weeks, indicating that they are very far behind in processing transcripts and it's taking a lot longer than what it typically has. And asked us
Mm.
to really kind of pass that along with grace to the students that we've been working with.
Well, I see, like, I can show you right here. Let me see. How do I
Yeah.
flip this camera around? Okay. So on my laptop right here, I don't know if
Okay.
you can see it, but it's showing that they received everything, but like you said, they haven't processed it. So
Request. Yeah, so it looks like they've received it, but just hasn't processed yet.
yeah.
Have you received any email from them at all about just like any updates, or they haven't sent you anything about like official acceptance yet, have they?
Um, let me check. Check.
Because what typically will happen is they'll give you like your official acceptance, and then you'll get a lot of emails to whatever email you use to apply with, and that will have like information on setting up all of your accounts with U of L. Um,
So probably the issue is I did get a letter saying that I had to submit a petition because I had actually attended U of L for one semester, but
mhm,
I had to I believe that I had to withdraw because I was pregnant and I had a baby and I had to miss
mhm,
the final, which would have failed me.
right.
So they said that because of that, I wasn't in the best standing, but I mean, my GPA was pretty decent from my credit, so I guess that kind of saved me a little bit.
Let me see if I can see your GPA right now. And did they ask you to fill out, was it a request to re-enroll, maybe?
No, the only thing that I got is that I needed an admissions petition, and I got that
Okay,
this morning, and that's what I was just typing.
gotcha. Gotcha. Yeah, I mean, it looks like they have stuff from you from, it says you have 55 earned credit hours,
Yeah.
but it does look like you had, let me see. So this was your transfer stuff. It looks like summer, you, the summer of 2022, you failed a couple courses and then you had to withdraw what you were saying, what you withdrew last time because you were having your baby, right?
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay. So I'm gonna look at this and I'm gonna see if possibly you might have a transfer credit summary, which will give us your GPA, but you're gonna have a new GPA once you graduate and bring those courses in again. So that's gonna update as well. So what I'm gonna say is I think we're gonna need to see like a transcript from you, and then we'll be able to pull. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this information to my associate director to see if she thinks it might be plausible for you to go ahead and start. And but we'll have to wait to get you accepted and then things like that. We're not sure exactly when that'll be, um,
Hmm.
or if it might be best for you to kind of wait and start in the fall. Um, but as far as this goes, do you have access through your KCTCS account to be able to pull an unofficial transcript?
Yeah, I probably could. Here, let
Okay.
me. Let me go on here real quick on
If
my
you,
pad. I'm sure that I could.
I think you can. Most of the time, they will just always say unofficial on there.
Yeah, view unofficial transcripts, student self-service view.
And then I just put my email in the chat as well. If you would mind, if you wouldn't mind just kind of sending that to me, and I can take that with me when I go to speak with my associate director.
Okay, hold on. Let me write it down. Okay, so yeah, yeah, I do have it. I can pull it up here. And yeah, I meet the requirement. What'd you say, a 2.5? I know it's different for
Mhm.
each semester. Hold
Right,
on.
and so it goes off the cumulative as well. So the reason I wanted to take it to there is because your cumulative that we had when you're from your transfer courses that when you came to U of L was a 2.074. And then when you came to U of L, you had actually failed a couple courses before, like that were not withdrawn from. So that summer of 22, those two courses that were failed are still on your account. And then the other withdrawal courses are not. So currently, right now, your GPA with U of L is a 0.
Oh, okay.
But
That's why.
but I'll be quite honest with you, Alexis. I've been out of the office for a while with some family matters and some death in the family, and my head's not on entirely straight. So I want to make sure that I'm not missing anything or telling you anything incorrectly. So that's why I wanted to kind of gather these information, and then take it to her to see if she might be able to give me a little bit of guidance on this because um, you do have those two Fs that are on your account, and then the withdrawals, and then you're going back to JCTC and getting additional courses, and then planning to return to U of L. So just some moving parts that I want to just make sure that I don't overlook anything. So I'm just
Mhm.
that's kind of where I'm at. Just wanted to let you know.
So I have it pulled up and I can send it to your email. I do have a question though, because it's kind of confusing. I'm trying to look at it, but
Mm-hmm.
it's a lot of numbers, so I had to take some more time. But
That's fine.
so you said the requirement is a 2.5. So say that if I didn't meet that, would that automatically mean that I wouldn't be able to get into the program?
You wouldn't be able to get into the program until you were able to raise the GPA up to a 2.5. There are instances where, if it's borderline, then we'll take those to our director, and they would possibly meet with the student to have a conversation, and that could happen. However, um, if it's well below the 2.5, um, in my professional opinion, I think they would then just ask that student to continue to take courses to raise that GPA up to a point where they can meet that 2.5 GPA.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
So when you when you say well below, do you have a number on that?
I don't have a number because honestly, it's well above my pay grade to kind of make those decisions. But we
Gotcha.
have students that have advocated on their behalf, and that's when we have students advocate, though it shows to our faculty, it shows to our staff that this is obviously something that they care about, something that they're willing to go out of their way and work hard for and advocate for themselves, which is essentially what we're going to be doing for our clients. Um,
Gotcha.
I don't want to give you any information that might lean one way or the other, but this is what we've decided and what we've done for individuals in the past. That 2.5 GPA is it's sort of rigid. It's written into our curriculum across the university. But like I said, there have been instances where it's very borderline and a student has, asked to have a meeting and they speak with that director and they will allow certain circumstances by that. But the only time that I have seen it, to be honest with you, is when it's very borderline, like a 2.4.
Gotcha.
Mhm.
Okay, so I just sent it to your email, but I do have one last question. So if I
Yeah,
would
what's
have
up?
to take courses to bring that GPA up, would that mean that I could apply to the lower division for the spring and then work on the upper for fall?
Yes, that would be it. Also, something that I would let you know as well is we have something that's called, it's called the Fresh Start. So
Mm-hmm.
essentially, what the Fresh Start does is it allows students who have maybe had a difficult semester or something going on that they can apply for, and then they can then. I'm sorry, the noise is kind of throwing me off. They can
Sorry,
apply
that's my
to have a
son.
fresh start. That's okay. That's okay. A fresh start with classes they have failed. So essentially, those classes that they have failed will be removed from their um, history. It will not go against their GPA. They will not get credit for those classes. It just allows students that have had, if they have a very unmanageable GPA, for them to go ahead and um, kind of do something that will allow them to continue their education. And I'm going to go here. I'm going to send you a link to this. Academic Fresh Start. Okay. And this may be something that you would want to consider as well.
Mm-hmm.
So there is that on the Fresh Start. So So you must have previously attended U of L as an undergraduate student. If you're returning as an undergrad student, must not have attended U of L in the last 2 years, must not have earned a bachelor's degree, must be with an academic. It looks like this is something that you're definitely going to want to consider.
Mm-hmm.
And then you would want to consider that for moving. But I'm going to take your all of your information, what you email me with your application, and we have your stuff from U of L when you were here previously, so we don't need any of the other stuff. But if you could send me that transcript, I will take it to them today before they leave, so that we can kind of work through and see what might be best.
Yeah,
But
I
I
sent it
definitely.
to you.
Oh, you did? Okay, let me just make sure I
Yeah,
got it. Sure, I got it here.
from the second email that you sent, not the one from the presentation.
Okay, got you. Yeah, either one works, but I do see it right here, unofficial transcript. Let me make sure I can open it. We got you. I got you. Okay, sweet. So give me a
Would you
little bit
guys
of
be
time.
able to see my petition statement or no?
The petition statement that went to admissions,
Yeah.
I don't think we see that because I think most of those go through like the regular Office of Admissions. We work admissions kind of separately within, so we don't do admissions to the university. We process the admissions to the upper division.
Mm-hmm.
So they're kind of like automatically admitted within us, and then we'll do admissions for like repeat courses and things like that, and petitions for fresh starts for students that are coded as social work. Um, but specifically, we can't see that one. That would be more of like the general Office of Admissions.
Okay, that makes sense. I was just
Mhm.
wondering because I believe that that could help my case if you guys could read it, but it's fine.
If you still have it, you can feel free to email that to me. Let me know. You've got my email there now, so if you have that saved somewhere, or um, they
Yes,
might be
I
able
will
to even
know.
send it our way too. But yes, I promise you, I will get back with you before the end of the day and kind of send you an email as quickly as I can. I've got a meeting coming up in just a minute, so I'm gonna have to hop off here. But I will get with my associate director and then speak with them about your case and get back with you. Like I said,
Okay, I got you. Well, I'll email this to you so you can have that as well. But
please do,
thank you.
Alexis. Thank you. And if you have any other questions, email me.
No, I'm good now. I talked enough already.
All right,
But
Alexis.
thanks
Well,
for
have
your
a
help.
great day. I'll speak with you soon.
All right, bye.
Thanks. Bye.